All right. Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahushai, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahushai, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakha Kodash. I want to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. I'm Zahar, Spirit, we in Judah, and today I want to go into a live stream. All right. Basically, going into the description of Yahushai, and this is the cover, the basics of the scriptures. Now, when you look up the word basics, all right, it goes back to the word base, which is the foundation. And this truth has a foundation, all right? It's like a house, all right? You have to build your house on a foundation, all right? Even the bottom of the house, all right, you have what? A basement, all right? But the key word in basement is what? Base. All right, so you have to have a strong base in this truth, all right? And it's one thing to, come into this knowledge and a little bit about everything, but it's another thing to have a solid and strong foundation, all right, as far as doctrine-wise, man, all right? So I'm just going to get right into it. This is the description of Yahushai. This is Revelation 1:13, and it says, "And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, which are the churches, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with the garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with the golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire." Now I'm going to read it back, all right, from 14. His head and his hairs are white like wool, all right? And this is a description of Yahushai, which Yahushai is a tall, slender man, all right? But he has a hoary head and a hoary beard and is very pure, okay? He's very pure, but he has a young face, right? He has a young face, but he has a hoary head, man. It's like white, pure, perfect hair, man, okay? His head and his hairs are white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, all right? His eyes were as a flame of fire, all right? Then I think about this movie called Brightburn, where it had the little boy with those eyes. Well, I saw Yahushua in a vision with those same eyes, man, okay? And it also tells you that in Genesis, his eyes would be red with wine, okay? Verse 15, "And his feet like unto fine brass," all right? "As if it burned in a furnace." So you take something that's brown, all right, which brass is a derivative of brown, and you burn it in the furnace, what do you have? You have dark brown. So his feet was like unto fine brass. This was a description of a so-called Negro today, all right? You think about a man that's older in age, 50 years old, all right? He's going to have a full hoary beard or gray beard or white beard, all right? He'll be dark-skinned, all right? He'll be dark-skinned, all right? But he'll have that white perfect beard, man, all right? And it says, in his verse 15, Revelation 1:15, "And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burn in the furnace." So not only was Yahushua brown, all right, he was dark skinned. He was very dark, but that's a very royal look. To be dark skinned, that's a very regal and ethereal look, man. All right, very celestial look, very divine, angelic look. The angels are not only are they brown, but they're dark. Not only is the Most High brown, but he's dark, man. All right? "And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burn in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters." Hey, and Yahushai was from the tribe of Judah, man. All right? And the tribe of Judah is like a lion, which all the tribes are lionistic, but he had a loud voice and so many words. He had a very traveling or carrying, his voice carried, man. Like the roar of a lion. When a lion roars, all right, it can be heard miles away. And when a so-called Negro speaks, everybody can hear it, man. The Southern Kingdom, specifically the tribe of Judah, has, for the most part, a loud voice, man. All right? But it says, I start back in Revelation 1:13, "And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with the garment down to the foot." And what was that garment down to the foot? All right, that was that burl, all right? Let me get that burl girdle he had. Daniel 10:5, it says, "Then I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with fine gold of Uphaz. All right. And a certain man clothed in linen was Yahushai. All right. He had like a Byzantine style garment. All right. Verse 6. His body also was like the beryl. All right. That's that beryl was like that green garment. And his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass. So it says his arms and his feet were like polished brass. But as it expounded in the book of Revelation, all right, about his feet, they were dark brown. So if his feet were dark brown, then his arms were dark brown. And if you connect the dots, all right, because we didn't classify ourselves as Negro, which is Spanish for black. All right. We didn't go by a color line 2,000 years ago. So John the Revelator, he described it this way because he knew by the time we had access to the Bible that we'll be far gone from who we were. All right. His body also was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes and his lamps as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass. Salak. And the voice of his word was like the voice of a multitude. All right. And that's pretty much the point as far as the description of Yahushua. Let me get one more. All right. And it's a quick live stream, even if it's short, I admittedly still like to do live streams, especially at nighttime, just to get that feedback, that interaction. All right. Second Ezra's. And this is also Yahushua in the midst of the elect, the hopeful elect. Our willing will be a part of that. It's Second Ezra 2:43. And in the midst, I started 42. I, Ezra, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people, whom I cannot number, and they all praised the Lord with songs. And in the midst of them, there was a young man of a high stature. So let's put out 2 and 2 together. All right, he was a young man, and he was tall, taller than all the rest. All right, but let's finish this out. It says, Second Ezra 2:42. I, Ezra, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people, whom I cannot number, and they all praised the Lord with songs. In the midst of them, there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of the heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marvel at greatly. All right, but who was that young man of high stature? It's Yahushua. So Yahushua has a young face, all right, but he has a white, hoary beard and hair on his head. But he's tall, and he's slender, all right, and he has a green beryl garment, man, all right, that Byzantine style green beryl garment, man, down to his feet. All right, I read that again, Second Ezra 2:41. Second Ezra 2:43. And in the midst of them was a young man. Now it tells you in Revelations 1 that he saw in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, but those 7 candlesticks were the 7 churches, which are the different camps. All right. Second Ezra 2:43. In the midst of them, there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads, he set crowns. Wait a minute. Let me get that real quick. All right. Something just popped up in my spirit. Revelations 2:26, because Yahushua had authority to put crowns on our heads. Revelation 2:26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. All right, so that was the beginning of us having power over the nations. All right, by Yahushua setting crowns upon our heads. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessel of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. All right, because what did he receive of his Father? Let me get that in Psalms. Once again, these are basic scriptures. All right, Psalms 2:8. This is what he received of his Father. Psalms 2:8. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen. Psalms 2:8. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. All right. Let me see if I can get that. Then that's pertaining to Yahushua. All right. But we're going to be partakers of his inheritance. All right. So that was part of us. That was part of him setting crowns upon our head in 2nd Ezra. Okay. If I could just type it up. Book Romans 8, I think that's 8:16. Yeah, Romans 8:16. The Spirit itself bear witness with our spirit that we are the sons of Yahweh. And if sons, then heirs, heirs of Yahweh and joint heirs with Yahweh Shai. So that was Yahweh Shai making us joint heirs. All right, with him. All right, by putting crowns on our head. And those crowns weren't just to just walk around with crowns. Hey, Abba willing is us. All right, we're about to have dominion over the world, man, over the different nations. If so, let me see. Romans 8:17. And if sons, then heirs, heirs of Yahweh and joint heirs with Hamashiach. If so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. All right. But that's pretty much the point. Just a quick, live stream. All right. But, with that, I hope you brothers and sisters were edified. Once again, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Awashai, Ba'ashem Rakakodash, double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of great millstone Ruel. Peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. Abba Babal, Kamashalla, Shalom.